This video will serve as an overview of the syllabus for our summer semester 2021. This course, Child Psychology, is an online course. All of the weeks begin on Monday. However, all of the assignments will be due Sunday at 11:59 before the next week begins, unless there is other notations. For example, the initial post on the discussion board, which I will get to in a moment. I am your instructor, Christy Young, and you can see my Meet Your Instructor video on that section of the Moodle page in the Start Here section. During the summer, I am doing office hours by appointment because I'm not on campus that often. However, I have a pretty available schedule to schedule those via Zoom or on the phone. My office telephone, which I won't be checking very often, so I highly recommend you use email, which is cyoung@swmich.edu. All you need to do is send me an email and I can send you a Zoom link, or we can set up a conversation. In this course, you're going to look at theories, methods, and principles that help us understand children, whether we be as a parent, a caregiver, or a teacher. We're going to look at prenatal development across the full 9 months, look at teratogens and how they might impact typical development. We are going to evaluate and look at scientific information that helps us understand child development. We're going to look specifically at nature versus nurture and the biological versus the environmental factors on childhood, family, peer, school influences. We're going to look at social, emotional, and moral factors. We're going to look at primary influences on growth and development, anything from physical to social and cognitive development. All of the outcomes that you see listed here will be assessed through a final examination. Your course textbook is ideally the 2003 version. However, the second edition will work as well. Either of those textbooks that are by Dixon, and they are entitled 20 Studies That Revolutionized Child Psychology. You will be using Moodle a lot during this online course. All of the assignments are completed on Moodle. All of the resources are located on Moodle, so you'll want to make sure that you are logging in on a very regular basis. I highly recommend several logins a week. With this being an online course, there will be video supplements. You definitely will be focusing on discussion boards and supplemental videos that are on Moodle, as well as written assignments, interactive assignments, different activities, all of those things. Your grading scale is located right here, and your grade distribution, which basically tells you what to expect in terms of number of assignments and types of assignments. The discussion boards are heavily weighted, so you want to make sure that you are doing those on time and paying attention to the grading rubric on that, because that is a large portion of your grade. There are unit assessments, I believe 6 of them, or 6 to 8 of them in total. There is a writing assignment almost every week. There is study objectives, which are designed to help you understand the material and prepare for the unit. Quizzes. There is one comprehensive final exam that you will take during final exam week. So in this course, I require active participation. Largely that is going to come in the participation in the discussion boards. However, submitting assignments on a regular basis and things like that also are very important. There is attendance that is monitored through Moodle. I can tell when you've logged in last and how many places that you visit, and I will be making sure that you are attending as you should be. And I have to highly recommend, when you look at attendance, look at it as participation. If you are participating actively and you are engaged in the course, you have a much higher success rate. It is by far the most important part of being involved in an online class and being successful in an online class. I mentioned earlier that your initial discussion board posting is due Wednesday at 11:59. So that's the only assignment that does not follow the Sunday at 11:59. And the reason why I have your original post due on Wednesday is so that your classmates can reply and you can reply to theirs by the due date of Sunday at 11:59. The withdrawal policy is stated in the academic catalog. Same applies for an online class, and that involves when you have to drop or add by to prevent having to pay for the class. There is a final exam as well as unit test. They will be required that you take them as scheduled. The lowest of your unit quizzes will be dropped. On each assignment, there is a 2-day window of grace, and I do this because life happens, technology happens, that sort of thing. So during that time frame, that 2-day window of grace, there are no penalties or deductions that are tacked on to your grade. However, if I should approve that you turn something in after that 2-day window of grace, there will be a 10% deduction. My goal when it comes to feedback is to give feedback as soon as possible. Some assignments are more complex and they are heavier grading, so those are going to take a little bit longer. Some things are auto-graded, so you'll have immediate feedback. Usually, you're going to have feedback on most assignments within 48 hours of the due date. I will warn you that with discussion boards, I often will start grading them, and so it may appear at some point in the week that you are not doing as well as you should be or you think that you should be, and it's because I do that to keep on top of the grading. There's a lot of grading with those, and I try to make sure that I'm keeping on top of them. So after the grace period has ended, that is when you would have your true full grade on that. By any means, please ask if you have any questions. I'll be happy to re-explain that. When it comes to communication of the course, you can expect that you're going to get a lot of emails from me on Mondays. That is the first week of the class, and I always preview the week ahead, tell you what is due, summarize what the assignments are. On Wednesday, I'm reminding you to do your initial discussion board posting usually. On Friday, I'm reminding you to complete things for the weekend. So I will always be checking emails, using these announcements to answer things that I think are relevant for the whole class knowing, and making sure that you guys are progressing as you should be. Email is always available. It's available in any course. We will do most of our communication through that, and it's because we basically don't meet face-to-face. I check my email multiple times a day, usually at least 3. So my typical schedule is I wake up early. I'm an early person. So I'll check it first when I wake up around noon and then before I go to bed. And I always respond within 24 hours. Now, during the weekends, I like to take a little break, as you guys do, I imagine. So I'm at 48 hours, okay? If, I can't say this enough, if at any time you're having an issue, you're struggling, something, send me an SOS email. Throw that SOS in the subject line and I will know that I need to reply to that ASAP. Okay, it could be the format of the class, it could be time management, it could be content, it could be, oh crap, I had a quiz that shut down on me. That SOS lets me know that this is an immediate need, and I will make sure that I read and respond to that as quickly as I can. I will be scheduling potential office hours virtually, usually during the summer. I just do them by appointment because for the most part, this is when you guys are busier, so you're often working during the day. So setting up office hours and sitting there waiting for students to show up is really not very good use of time for anyone. So I am very happy to set up the one-on-one Zoom conferencing for us. All you need to do is check my email address and send me an email. I will send you a link for an appointment that works for both of us. There's another announcement area, the FAQs. This is where if you have a question, feel free to drop it there. I'm subscribed to it and I will respond within 40 hours. However, sometimes students will know the answer and they can reply as well. Course assignments. What will you be doing in this course? You will be doing a lot of discussion boards. There is one each week. Each discussion board requires 3 posts, 1 original and 2 replies. As such, they are worth 35% of your grade. Okay, so make sure that you are familiar with the discussion guide rubric that is on the Start Here section of our page, because it will show you the rubric by which I grade all of your discussion boards. There are written assignments that range from 10 to 30 points in the course. Depending on how hard it is or how complex it is, that's where the point value is going to vary. They are turned in on Moodle, 11:59 on Sundays. Each paper has a rubric and it really clarifies the expectations. However, if you should have any questions with them, let me know. Quizzes. There are unit quizzes that go over the material. You can expect anywhere from 15 to 35 questions, depending on the way that it's set up in Moodle. Moodle sets it up differently than paper and pencil ones. So they can be recognition questions, multiple choice, matching true and false. They can be recall questions, short answer, and they're going to be weighted appropriately. And remember, your lowest quiz score is dropped. I give you guys objectives and study guides and worksheets that go along with these. So one of the things that I changed recently in the, I would say, spring semester is I went from having students turn in objectives to completing study guides or worksheets. It's basically set up like a quiz, so it gets you in the feel of taking a quiz. You are comfortable with taking a quiz, but they are worksheets, so you can take them more than once and use it as a study tool. This course is set up in weekly modules. So each week begins on Monday and Sunday at 11:59. Again, initial discussion boards by Wednesday at 11:59, and then 2 peer replies no later than Sunday at 11:59. A lot of people think that online courses are easier than face-to-face courses. I highly disagree with this, both from an instructional standpoint as well as from a student standpoint. They're definitely flexible and they definitely allow you to have more freedom as to when you do your work. However, you're often doing a lot of self-teaching because the instructor kind of becomes the facilitator. I try my best to preserve some of the face-to-face components, like doing weekly live class sessions if people are interested in that, things like that, and it certainly helps. But just know that this is not for everyone. I understand that. And the goal of the discussion forums is to basically create a sense of community in the classroom, and that's why participating and engaging them is so important. And again, if you find yourself struggling, send me that SOS email. Let me know. I definitely try to help students find different ways to be successful that work for them. The course is designed to be interactive and facilitate active learning, so you're going to be logging in a lot. You're going to be doing readings and participating. You're going to complete things on time. And the biggest thing I always warn about is the online discussion board. It is something that is often where people feel more free or more comfortable saying things that they wouldn't say to someone's face. Go by your grandma's rule. If it is something you would not say to your grandmother, she might be offended, don't say it in the discussion board. That kind of is all part of that netiquette or classroom etiquette behavior. I highly recommend reading through your discussion posts before you submit them to make sure that something is not offensive. And all caps is often seen as yelling or conveys certain tones. So just be aware of what it is that you're putting out there. The online format seems to be more commonly cheating or plagiarizing because there's so much online work and you're using resources that are online. And I will tell you that we have plagiarism tools that we've employed. So if you are found to do that, you will definitely get a failing grade on that assignment and you may be expelled from the institution or gain a failing grade in the course. So we take it very seriously, and I can only say it probably will be even more serious as we see more instances of it happening. The student code of conduct talks about how academic integrity and what you're supposed to be doing is going on. We have the FERPA policy, which basically says who it has access to your information, and this copyright policy, which a lot of students are unfamiliar with. You cannot turn in an assignment for multiple classes. You're basically plagiarizing yourself, and it is considered a copyright infringement. So any materials that are produced specifically for this class can only be used for this class, and ones produced for other classes cannot be used for this class. Important information. I try my best to give a detailed and complete syllabus at the beginning of the semester. However, stuff happens, things change. My goal is always to make it benefit the student and put myself out, as opposed to make you guys work harder or turn something in faster. So my goal is to, yes, make changes if necessary, but do them with the student in mind. Here is a very, very brief outline of the activities and assignments. Moodle is where you're going to want to go to get a very detailed view of all of those assignments. But this will give you an idea of all the things that we'll be talking about throughout the course of the semester. And that is your syllabus for this class. The objectives that I mentioned at the beginning of the syllabus, these are the course objectives. These are your final exam objectives. These are things that you will be asked to know on the final exam. Right now, it may seem like a lot and it might seem overwhelming, but I promise you throughout the course, we will touch on all of these. So again, any questions, please feel free to reach out. Looking forward to a great summer semester. Thanks, guys.